Tales from the Video Store is brought to you by Mad Tea Party Productions. Sponsorship for this show comes from Golden Ticket Cinemas and Jabberwocky Games. Visit our Facebook page and give us a recommendation, or go to Apple iTunes and drop us a review. 5 stars is good, 4 is doable, 3, and you must be listening to that other podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube page. See other content at our Patreon page or website, videostoretales.com. Now, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Wall, Lee Bridges, and Garrick Lane. This is Tales from the Video Store. Happy New Year! It's Tales from the Video Store, the year-end special. We are here today, and we're going to talk about the last decade.
Damn. Feels like we've been doing this show for a decade.
Another one? Yeah.
You know what's sad? I was just telling Doug, man, right before you got here, I was looking at that list of movies, and I was like, God, that's 10 years. I remember going and watching that in the theater. That's 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
Gone in a flash. In a flash.
Yeah, it's only getting flashier the older
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah,
Yep.
It really is. It really is. It's funny because when I look back at some of the movies, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss any. I'm like, God, it's 10 years ago? Oh, that was 4 years
Yeah.
ago? That felt like yesterday.
Yeah, I had to look up the dates on some of mine. Like, when did that come out? Like 2 years ago.
And I was like, no, that can't be right.
2010. I'm like, oh, shit.
That can't be right.
Yeah, it's like when people say 10 years ago, I think in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like 20, oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that was 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that was last year. Wow, that was
Wait,
like yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, did we watch it? It's been a short week,
Yeah.
Amazingly enough. Did you watch anything?
I watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
You did.
I did. And I liked it. I didn't love it. But it's okay. I think it probably would have been better as an anthology.
Yeah.
Sort of a creep show style anthology. I actually liked how they tied them all together. And the creatures look just like the drawings from the book. So it's a good movie. It's just not exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, I enjoyed it though. It's not bad.
Okay.
You know, same director as Troll Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Andre, whatever his name is. But yeah, really well made movie.
I like
Yeah.
Troll Hunter.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was cool. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, nice.
Yeah.
My son watched it. I slept all the way through it. We had been building those sets for the Hickory Furniture Mart, and he put it on, and I sat down on the sofa, and I don't think I got through the front credits.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any kind of...
It's not necessarily the movie's fault.
No.
No. It's definitely not the movie's fault at all.
No, and I think it's
one of
more-
those times where you just...
Oh yeah.
You're just not in the mood to go. You shouldn't have sat down and watched the movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But other than that, I watched a new movie from the director of City of God. It's a Netflix movie called The Two Popes.
Right.
Yeah, have you seen it?
No, but I know exactly what you're
And I'm not Catholic, but it is really well done.
Is it as good as it looks?
It
the
is.
trailer looks amazing.
It's interesting. It's very light. It's not like a heavy drama at all. There are heavy parts in it because really what it's about is, you know, Anthony Hopkins plays, you know, Pope Benedict, the previous pope, and just his sort of unpopularness with
Everybody.
the planet.
Oh, God, Jonathan Pryce,
Yeah.
too? And Anthony Hopkins? How have I not heard of
And
this?
Jonathan Pryce was the runner-up. He got the second most votes
Right.
when Pope Benedict was elected, and he actually basically comes to the Pope to resign. He's like, the things you're doing, I can't. And what it's really about is, you know, Anthony Hopkins' failure to address the sexual predators within the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And he feels like he has to resign because of that. And Jonathan Pryce cannot accept a papal nomination because back in the 70s when there was the military coup in Argentina, he feels he did not do enough to address that, and that, you know, he was the head of the Jesuits, and a lot of the Jesuits spoke out against the revolution or the dictatorship,
right.
and disappeared. You know, ended up in a ditch somewhere,
yeah.
and he felt he should have. You know, that sort of marked him where he can't. You know, he's basically been living with that for 30 years.
Yeah.
and he feels he can't take it anymore. And Anthony Hopkins like, well, I can't accept your resignation because I'm resigning.
And you're going to have to vote for me.
And you're going to have to be there for the vote.
Yeah.
And so it's very, like, they use a lot of pop music, a lot of Italian and South American pop music in it. And like I said, for a heavy movie, it's very lightly done.
Good on you, Lee. That's one I would not have expected you to say
like,
that you watched.
And it's weird, we did Scorsese last week, and the director, Fernando Morales, when City of God came out, people thought he was going to be the next Scorsese. Mm-hmm. Like, people were like, this dude is the one, he's the chosen one. And his career just went in a completely different direction. He made a couple movies that just weren't as popular. And I think this is more the type of movie people thought he was going to make after City of God. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jonathan Pryce, if it was a theatrical movie, he'd get Best Actor nomination.
Nice.
He's great in it. He does, his South American accent's not super heavy, but he's very likable. Like, you kind of see what people like about him, the guy who is Poe now. You know, everybody loves him, and everybody, like Anthony Hopkins, he says, you're very popular. And he's like, well, I just be myself. And he's like, well, when I'm myself, people hate it. Yeah.
So it's comedy. So it's a comedy.
It's not a comedy. It's like
Death of Stalin. It's kind
no,
of
not that low. It's like a light drama. It's dramatic.
It's based on true events.
Yeah, it's based on true events, but it's like an Altman movie. It's just it's a week in their life.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, cool. Well, is that it? That's all you watched?
That's all I watched.
Yeah, I mean, you went to Dollywood. You didn't have time?
Didn't have time
to watch anything else?
No.
How's that place?
I've only been twice.
And it's only been 0 times.
Right, it's much nicer.
That seems like too many.
Yeah.
I think I went one time.
It's much nicer than you think. I was expecting sort of a ghost town in the sky type, but it's much nicer than you think it's going to be.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Doug and I took the boys to the new Star Wars movie.
We did.
Doug?
That we did.
You fucking charlatan.
Well, the only reason I
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
went, well,
I texted him and said, free movie. I'm going. You want to go?
Yeah.
I was like,
Fair
Thursday
enough.
night,
Fair enough.
I'm in.
Yeah, okay.
And, what do you want to talk about with it?
What's funny is I wanted to drink.
Yeah.
So I called Doug so that he would drive so I could drink liquor on the way to the...
Which happened.
Yeah.
I actually stopped in the parking lot. I got a van with kids in it. Garrett jumps out, runs into a Mexican restaurant, goes to the bar, gets himself a shot, and then runs back out. We're like 2 blocks away from the theater.
So he got a free movie and I got a free Uber. And it was
got a free ride. Yes,
that was about the only highlight of the movie.
Well, to be fair, you're being fair. Because it's just...
Let me ask you a question. As someone who hasn't seen it, do you think it's... Like, J.J. Abrams, when he did whatever the first one was called, Force Awakens, he wrote an outline for what would eventually become the Last Jedi, which was thrown away by the director. Do you think this is him recorrecting from The Last Jedi?
No.
No, okay, I was just asking.
But maybe.
Yeah, because he had a detailed outline, and apparently Ryan Johnson was just like, and I'm done with that.
Because it opens, Garrick and I were talking about what we expected on the way up there, and immediately when the movie starts, one of the things that we discussed just happened. It's like it's happening. It's a reality all of a sudden. We're like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And just like the rest of them, man, they're like the idea, whatever the heart idea of the movie was supposed to be, is hijacked by trying to bring up all these ghosts from the past.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they would have just left them out of the originals, or left the original people out, told their own story, I think they might have had something.
Yeah.
Could have had something.
Right.
But I just think that they thought that this was an easy way in, maybe to get people to come to these and to like it because it had these guys in it. And that ultimately ruined their story.
Right.
And that's what happened in this one.
I walked out and I said, I have seen this movie 6 times.
Yeah.
I have seen it 6 times. Like, I have seen this same thing over.
I mean, there was definitely like a moment in the movie where I was in heavy, like,
yeah,
head palm, and Garrett's looking over, and
I knew it was that moment where I looked over and we're both laughing.
And I was just like,
insane.
Oh,
like
damn.
this is
like
really
I want to get. Like I saw a couple get up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, they're leaving. I was like, good on you guys. But they came back. I guess they just went to the bathroom together, which is really weird.
Yeah.
And there was one guy next to me that was
clapping and cheering and all this garbage. And I just...
Everything that was from the first movies, like he's, it's almost like you're wanting to watch that.
Some people, that's all they want. It's the same reason my stepdad sits there and watches Fox News for 12 hours a day. Sometimes people just want people to agree with them.
Yeah.
It's the same reason people want, people listen to the same 10 songs over and over again.
I will say this about it.
Yeah.
Of the three, The Force Awakens and whatever the fuck the second one and then this one, I think this one was probably the best movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Maybe not the best storytelling or story, but just overall the scope of it, the way it looked, the action.
Yeah.
It was probably the most exciting and the best of the three.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
I liked seeing Lando. I mean,
that's one of the thing I liked in the trailer. When he sees Lando and he looks like a space pimp, I'm just like, yeah, you got me.
Well, just have them come early. Like you can't kill off half your old crew and then bring him at the end to like make everybody feel better, because that's kind of what it felt like to me. I was like, here we go. Like, what the fuck are you doing here, Lando? Like, it was just weird.
It was it was just very contrived. It was very Star Warsy. Like I just feel like it's the same movie. Yeah. It's just like a template. It's like, okay, Garrett, we're gonna you get to do episode 10. Cool, really awesome. Here's the book. Here's your protocol book. Yeah. You're going to need to read that through and through and do the tests at the end. It has to go this way. It's
just like the superhero.
It has to, insert main character here. It's like almost like an online form.
Oh, yeah.
Put it in, and then they print it out and go, there's your script.
Yeah.
But it had some cool parts, I guess.
Not really.
But, yeah, overall, it's a heavy C- for
Right.
Very
which
that's generous.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that bad compared to how I thought it was going to be.
Well, and I think a lot of people who like these other ones are probably like, man, they did it up right, they finished it right, and are probably really happy with it.
Right.
And that's fine.
Good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't live in that world.
Yeah.
So.
I felt like there was too many worlds. Speaking of worlds, it felt like back New Hope, I know budget restraints or whatever, but New Hope, there was 5 places they went, and it felt like this one there's 10 places they had to go here, they had to go here, they had to go
and
here.
I didn't know half
and
of it.
And they're looking for something.
Yeah.
It's funny, and here the worst part, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but they're trying to find something that Luke Skywalker, the baddest ass ever,
and Lando Calrissian, who apparently they were hanging out.
Yeah.
They could not find this thing, and this new crew just kind of stumbled. They just go, there it is.
In like an 8-hour period, they find everything that it took 40 years for these other guys not to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another big complaint. I told this to Garrett, man. It's like all that you've done by creating these new stories with using these new heroes and the old heroes is you weaken the old heroes.
Right.
You make Luke Skywalker look like an incompetent, like, baby kind of hippies. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did anybody watch...
He's the chosen one.
Did anybody watch Jedi, or was I the only one? Because he's the baddest man ever.
Ever.
And they just... I kept thinking that and feeling like that. I'm like, and you're just lessening everything that you had built in order to build this, and this is what you've done with it.
And they cram in all these new creatures just for marketing purposes to make action figures. It's not...
Well, that's why Gary Kurtz, the guy who produced the first 2.
Yeah.
That's why he quit during Jedi, because apparently Han Solo was supposed to die in Jedi.
Yeah.
And George Lucas told him, was like,
I
can't kill him, man. He said, that'll tank the action figure sales. And he was just like, all right, George,
bye.
I quit. And so he just never came back. And he's like,
good for him.
Yeah, that was, like, I'm sure he could have been a lot richer, but yeah, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's why that's how I felt when I watching the movie. It's like they're bouncing from some of these worlds. They're just forcing all this stuff, and they're bringing in all the new ships and all these new little things here and there. And I'm like, they're doing this so they can market this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just add this extra little, like the snake. Like, dude, they went through the sand, down into the cave, just to introduce her touch and to show another.
Where did this thing come from?
That's another action figure. That's another whole crevice where the action figure guys can fall through the sand into the serpent pit.
But
it is really not even needed.
But where they will fail is action figures like that today will never be like what they were in 1984.
Yeah, true.
They'll never be as popular. They're never going to sell like these will, or or like those did. So nice try, but if you will. Yeah. Did you watch anything else?
Scary. I saw Scary Stories credits, opening credits.
All right.
Saw those.
Nice credits. Well done.
Well done. Yeah.
Snazzy.
I did watch the first 2 episodes of The Witcher on Netflix.
I couldn't even make it through the first episode.
I was going to say, it's weird. I think I'm going to start over. I think I'm in kind of like you said when you watched Joker. I don't know if I was in the right mood.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I'm into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was forcing myself to finish it. And I don't know if that's because it's not very good or if I just wasn't in the mood for it that day.
I tried, and I just got up about 30 minutes in, and Jody was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'll try this again. I gave it like 30 minutes, but it just didn't. I don't know. Maybe the same thing. I don't know. I just wasn't into it.
Then I finished the Wolf of Wall Street book. So then I watched the movie again. And it's classic.
It's the gift that keeps on giving,
really
baby. I just love it.
It really is.
I will put it on if it's on like TNT. I don't care. I'm still going to put it on there just to catch a scene and just get a chuckle.
It just makes you feel good.
It does.
It really does.
I don't know why.
It makes me want to go out and I'm like sitting there going, "Well, this guy could do that.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way I could live that way for at least 6 months." Absolutely.
And hopefully you go to like a white collar prison just like him, because that's something he was cellmates with Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
He's making more. He's making more money now after writing the book. Now he's selling his straight line. That straight line that he talks about. He's selling that to companies. People are hiring this guy to show up and show them how to sell. Show their sales force how to sell. It's crazy.
He's a proven salesman.
That's what he does.
And most of it was garbage that he was selling, but
Yeah. He got people to buy it.
He got people to buy it. I mean,
that's pretty awesome.
God, that's a good movie.
It's been a great year and it's been a great decade for films. Unfortunately, our podcast hasn't been around for 10 years, but
is that all you watched?
Oh, it is all I watched. I think yes.
Okay.
I'll probably watch something else, but I don't remember.
It's fine.
So.
I didn't watch anything other than Star Wars, and I watched a bunch of football. It's bowl season, so I was late out of work last week. I could have watched a bunch, but I didn't.
How about those Tigers? Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, baby, I pulled them through. The one thing I did watch was the season finale of The Mandalorian. My new favorite thing.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda in them.
I just now realized I was trying to advance the podcast without...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's fun.
Oh, you're not irrelevant. I'm sorry. I thought...
It's fun. I don't
I'm
care.
sorry. Go ahead.
It's absolutely fun. What I did.
Eat a bag of dicks.
I wasn't sure when I first started watching it, but the last 3 episodes are the best of the show. And the last episode and what it's now going to be is pretty fucking cool.
Not to sound like a sexist douchebag, but they really need to fire Kathleen Kennedy and give Jon Favreau her job as the head of Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
I mean, it has nothing to do with her being a woman. It just has to do with her being terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what do you mean by that, though?
What do I mean by what?
Well, okay, so I haven't seen it. So you're saying, Kathleen Kennedy, what is Kathleen Kennedy doing?
She is the head.
She's the head of the Star Wars brand.
And she was George Lucas's assistant for years, then a producer. And
she's allowing them to do.
She's allowing them to make terrible movies. Not even terrible movies. I've seen Solo. I cannot remember more than 10 minutes of it.
I can't remember anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like
I thought you're talking about the Mandalorian.
It's not even bad. Bad movies are
Wars.
okay. She's allowing them to make forgettable movies, okay movies, which is worse than a bad movie.
Yeah, agreed.
And because, like I said, I like Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was pretty good, and The Mandalorian I like a lot. That's the thing I like the most. And other than that, it's just, blah, you know.
And it's been
really has
it's been blah for 25 years.
Yeah.
It really has.
And
35.
And I'm sure she would get a tremendous severance package from Disney, so I'm sure she'd be fine. But Jon Favreau, obviously, he's just a master storyteller when it comes to stuff like this, as far as that sort of mythic
and the
storytelling.
people he's got involved, like directing episodes, like Tiki.
Guy directed Dope.
Directed the last episode, and
Right.
it's the best. It's my favorite episode of the series. Eight episodes. I wish it was 10. This is one where I'm like, damn, I wish it was 10 or 12. I don't want to have to wait on it, but very good.
Yeah.
For a PG rated, basic Western, it's pretty damn good, pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I could not agree more.
Yeah. So that's really all.
So Kathleen Kennedy has nothing to do with the Mandalorian.
Well,
She does, but I mean,
she's not.
Jon Favreau is. I'm sure she defers to him. Like, it doesn't have that feeling that the rest of them do. It has those sort of, I don't know. It feels like 1977 Star Wars. As close as you can.
And it could be.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. This could have been made back then, and it would be very similar to what it is now, I think. It's good.
Okay. I will check it out sooner or later.
Cool.
Sooner or later. Well, all right.
Let's get on with the list.
The lists of the decade. We wrote down our favorite 5 of the last decade, and I'm interested to see what that list may be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Should I start?
Sure.
Okay, my number 5 is in my opinion, the only blockbuster worth putting on any list like that, and that's Mad Max Fury Road.
Son of a bitch,
How
that's
about
my fucking number 5.
Is it your number 5? Hey! It is. I mean, it is a technical marvel. It is the most technically proficient movie made in the last 10 years.
Love it.
The fact that movie was made and there were no one was seriously injured. No one was killed, let alone seriously injured.
Somehow.
And to put that into perspective, one person was killed and one woman had her arm ripped off during the making of the last Resident Evil. So, if you look at that scene...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like you look at the scene where the Cirque du Soleil guys have chainsaws and they're strapped to those poles and they're picking people off the trucks, and just that, nobody got hurt doing that is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like we were talking about The Mandalorian. It's just mythic, simple storytelling.
It's perfect.
But it's perfect. Like
Just what I want.
My favorite line in the movie is when they're in the car and the wives are in the car, and the one with long white hair is she's just praying, and Zoe Kravitz says, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm praying." She's like, "To who?" She's like, "Whoever's listening." And the script is just, of course, you spend 20 years writing something, and you're George Miller. It's obviously going to be awesome. But like the sets, the design,
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did.
No.
That's why I got Oscar nomination.
The people that were in it were like, we don't even know where he's going with this. It's so crazy.
Right.
But then when I watched it, I was like,
Yeah.
this is perfect.
It is. It really
couldn't
is.
have been made better.
Yeah. When I walked out of it, I texted my buddy Jake if he asked me how it was. I just texted him in all caps, all other movies are bullshit.
Yeah.
and I kind of still feel that way.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Man.
But that's my number 5.
It is not on my list, but it is. It is very good.
Well, that was my number 5, so...
Okay. Well, my list is gonna be different than you guys. You guys are you're gonna laugh at me, I guess. But okay, so my number 5 is Phantom Thread.
Okay.
We don't really have to get into it. We've heard it a gazillion
I'm surprised
times.
it's that low. I mean, I really am. I'm not saying that as a joke.
I asked him if it even made his top 5.
Yeah.
Yes, it made my top 5. It is my number 5.
Okay,
Phantom
awesome.
Thread. The sets, we all know. If anybody that's listened to this podcast, I don't have to rehash the reasons I like it.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing joke that's been going for 54 episodes.
The original opera of cinema.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say the original opera of cinema, you asshole, is the camera floating over the grass. Fucking cunt. This fucking asshole posts up something on a Facebook page What says something about douchebags that like cameras floating over grass for 2 hours.
It's just a guy watching Terrence Malick's movie. He says it's poetic cinema. And over I put what Garrick does in his spare time.
Asshole. Totally trolls me on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Can't say it's undeserving.
Yeah. So we on to number 4?
On to number 4.
All right, my number 4 is from 2015. It is Sicario.
Yes!
Directed
That's
by
on my list,
Dennis
That's
French
my
name?
number 4.
Well, shit.
How about that?
Yeah, I know.
That's strange. This
That's
is very
crazy.
unexpected.
I saw that movie in a completely empty theater.
Oh, so good. The end is so good.
I walked in, and the old guy goes, "Man, I ain't torn one of these all day," and just ripped my ticket. And I said, "Oh, that's it." And dude, I loved it.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I've heard people say the sequel's really good, but I haven't seen it because I like the first one so much.
You almost don't want to sell it.
I almost don't want to.
So incredible. Like, you don't really know, like, the first time watching that movie, you don't really know what's... You do know what's going on, but you don't.
Right.
And it just takes you on a ride, man. And, oh, dude, Josh Brolin's so good.
He's so good.
God, he's so good. He's got it all worked out.
Yeah, and he's not. Here's the thing: Emily Blunt's the good guy, but she's wrong.
She's wrong, right?
And Josh Brolin's the bad guy, but he's completely right.
Yeah.
Like, in the 80s, it was better when there was just one group of guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's, no one, people aren't just like, everybody's just going like, all right, we're going to stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
We had a meeting, a billion of us. We all throwing our, that's never going to happen. And Benicio del Toro is just phenomenal. Like, he's, and you're talking about, you don't know where it's going. That's like genre filmmaking is best, where it gives you exactly what you want, but not what you expect.
Yeah,
which I think is what genre filmmaking is supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And when he shoots the drug dealer's kids at the end, I did not see that shit
Oh,
coming.
you did, yeah. The whole
like, when I was in the theater by myself, I was like, holy shit, that
and
just
you
happened?
still don't really, and it never really, a lot of movies give you so much exposition. You still don't know what happened to Benicio's family.
No.
You know something terrible happened to him.
Yeah.
But you don't know
Yeah.
what it was or even who he was.
Well, it was written by Tyler Sheridan, who used to be an actor. He was the original sheriff on the first season
Come Hell and High Water.
of Sons of Anarchy. He was the sheriff that gets killed. And he said when he was an actor, he said he just hated reading exposition scenes. He's like, people don't care. He said they just want to know what's happening, not why it's happening.
Right.
He said, why? Will you look at Hell or High Water or his show Yellowstone? Very little of it is. Well, here's why I'm doing
Yellowstone is his?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? I liked Wind River. It was the same.
That movie he directed. Yeah.
Great.
But he just, I think he kind of takes this. People will just trust that they're doing things for a specific reason, not necessarily you have to give them 10 minutes of backstory for everything. Which is true, which is why I think that's such a great movie.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The music.
Oh, the music is
John
great.
Horanson, who did Mandy.
Who did the Screw for Mandy, who passed away last year. Yeah.
That first track is just like, it's dum, dum, dum.
It's a nice
dum.
segue to my number 4.
Uh-oh.
Which is 2016's Hell or High Water.
Nice.
Oh, how about that?
David Mackenzie.
That
directed.
I almost made it a tie. I was like, ties be bullshit.
Oh man, I like a good bank robbing movie anyway, and the town, I guess, as far as like in the last 10 or 15 years, that's kind of been the best one since Heat.
Yeah.
And to me, this eclipsed that.
Yeah.
This was more of a realistic bank robbing story.
Yeah.
And I love when the villains or the bad guys aren't bad guys.
Yeah.
And then they win.
Right.
And that's this movie.
Right.
You can't not smile at the end.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
he's basically like, well, I'm here. You do what you fucking got to do, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a awesome movie. And that's my number 4.
Yeah. I love it.
And I love the relationship between the cops, between Jeff Bridges and
dude.
that love-hate.
Gil Bingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Fantastic.
Just so good.
My favorite thing is when they're in the hotel room just bullshitting. His partner is half Native American, half Mexican. And he's constantly making Indian jokes.
Yeah.
And he's watching that TV preacher. He's like, shouldn't you be watching some guy naked running around a fire hooping and hollering? And he just looks at Jeff Bridges and goes, I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Just like the little back and forth between them.
great.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Sheridan's great at that.
Yeah.
It's very like man fueled, testosterone fueled dialogue
Oh, yeah.
and scenes, just like Sicario.
It's like we were talking about John Milius a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's that type of writer.
Yeah.
And so we on to number 3?
I guess.
What's your 4?
His 4 was...
My 4 was Sicario.
Sicario, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn, we gotta stop doing that.
I think we're going to deviate here.
Well, yeah,
Is this where it all...
We're
Yeah.
cutting out 15 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah.
We're ruining everybody's, content here by having the same name.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we should have,
We should have called each other. Hey, let's
before
swap this.
Yeah, but my number 3 is my favorite movie of last year. It's 2018's The Night Comes For Us, which is the only action movie I would put above
Yeah, I
Mad Max
forgot about
Europe.
that.
And because I love it so much.
It's so good.
It's the only movie I've seen in the last 10 years. Not the next day that I want. As soon as it ended, I wanted to hit play again.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it immediately.
That's awesome.
And it's just like the characters are so well, like visually, like everybody dresses different, everybody looks different, and just it's an Asian action movie for people who don't watch Asian action movies. Because a lot of times you can get kind of lost. Like you watch old school kung fu movies, people just don't know what's going on. They don't know who's who. But this one, it's like the perfect mix of like kung fu and like triad gangster movies and just
It's a great
extremely
movie.
bloody 80s action.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's just, I love it so much.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's two that you guys have mentioned that I'm like, oh yeah, like Mad Max and that.
Yeah.
That I watched that I loved. That,
Right.
Well, I mean, we're talking a decade. There's going to be something
yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
we're going to slip. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
My number 3,
Dun, dun, dun.
Wolf of Wall Street,
There we go.
2013.
Yeah.
We already,
Yeah.
it's already come up because it's so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah.
like I said, man, it's brilliance. It's Marty's brilliance. It's this brilliant story and
The
what he
Quaalude
does with it.
scenes with the slow mo and
Just
the,
everything about it, all the dialogue.
Yeah.
Just, I can't stand it.
Right.
The scene where the FBI come to DiCaprio's yacht,
Yeah.
and he's like, throws lobsters at him, and I can't stand it. I laugh and have like a perma-grin the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I watch it. It never gets old.
There's something to really great filmmakers who make you love hateable people.
Yeah, and he is so fucking good at it.
Yeah, and he's just, the characters are so terrible.
yeah.
Like Jonah Hill's character is, if I met him in real life, I would murder him.
I would want him dead.
Yeah, and the only good person is John Brenthal's character, who's the only guy who's not a complete scumbag.
And he's the one that goes to jail.
And he's the one that goes there and dies.
Yeah.
Dies at 36, All these other guys, these days, are still alive.
And he's the only guy, actually, in the book, he was the only guy that, besides Jonah Hill's character, when he talks about sell me the pen, that scene in that movie,
Yeah.
when he goes, hey, he's like, sell me the pen, and his character goes, you got a pen? The guy goes, no. And he's like, there you go, supply and demand. It's like, dude, it's like perfect. 'Cause it's right. Oh, you don't have one?
Yeah. Write your name.
Yeah, write your name.
Yeah.
So, that's the music and it's classic. It's classic Scorsese.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut like Casino.
Right.
To, freeze frames with the narration, camera, third
Crazy
person,
drug
breaking
use,
the
all that.
wall.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It really is.
It's perfect.
It probably should have been the number 2 seed in your.
I don't think. See, man, those seats. That sucked. Yeah, I'd love to do that again, but I don't think it would fall
Yeah.
any differently.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
But like the Aviator got like 5% against something, and the Aviator was great.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they were
hard
a great
to do.
movie.
Those Scorsese movies,
Yeah.
it's just hard to
And it's
do.
personal preference, too, so it'll never,
Right. A movie like this, I always like more than The Aviator because I want to be these
That
guys.
guy, yeah.
I don't want to be The Aviator.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pissing and shitting into jars into my fucking 70s.
Yeah, right. You're right. You're right. It hits a note. It's different. It's like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
When we see
You wanna
Goodfellas
be
when we're in
these
high school,
guys.
we want to be gangster guys.
Yeah.
For a year, we wanted to be the gangster guys.
Yeah. What's your 3?
My number 3 is another DiCaprio film.
Okay.
He's pretty smart at picking up the good stuff. Christopher Nolan's Inception.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a white knuckle ride the whole way. You
What
didn't
is it?
know Huh?
What is it? What happens?
What, in Inception?
Yeah.
They do it. The end, like, it's crazy. The whole scene goes down, and then the brilliance filmmaking. you're on this like roller coaster, and then it just has a close up of Leonardo's eyes, and he opens his eyes.
Yeah.
And you realize that they had done it,
Right?
But this whole thing was a complete like crazy night dream, and just the way just the storytelling in general.
Yeah, but when he's in the bathroom in Africa, he drops the top. He never sees it stop spinning.
Yeah, so
really it could all be the second half of it could all be a dream.
Yeah,
you know, because somebody comes in or something, and he like grabs it, or something happens where he knocks it over.
But it's still spinning.
Yeah.
When it goes to black, that's why I said, "Well, what is it?"
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure.
Yeah. Isn't that what we want in a film? That's exactly what you want in film is to go what and do, and that's how I felt. I was like this, the movie, and then like I said, they have that one shot where at the climax of all that shit going on, they cut to Leonardo and his eyes open, and then they pull out and you see that they're in the plane and he shows everybody and everybody's waking up and Tom Hardy's character kind of nods like we did it, and you're like, holy shit! Like, what did I just watch?
Yeah,
like it was amazing. It's his best film. Like,
Easy.
Wait, hold on.
The Prestige. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, see, I love that movie too, man. See, that's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah,
but I look at that as the comic book,
right?
As a Christopher Nolan film,
right?
I'd have to. I love it. I love.
So the Prestige is mine forever.
Dunkirk was fantastic.
Yeah.
His I mean, Memento.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Just
you'll never see anything like that again, ever.
Yeah.
It's such unique filmmaking.
Yeah.
And cool story too.
Yeah.
Just the way that
his new one's coming out.
Which is a hitman movie about time travel. I don't know.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
It's Christopher Nolan. I'm sure it will.
Right.
All right. What's your numero duso?
My numero duso is a movie from 2014 called Cold in July, directed by Jim Mickle, based on a novel by Joe Lansdale, and it is. It has what's the guy who played Dexter?
Yeah.
Michael Scott. Michael. What's his name?
Anthony Hall. Michael Hall.
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall.
He's a guy. He lives in Texas. Everybody kind of thinks he's a pussy. You know, he runs a frame shop, and this is like 1988. And somebody breaks into his house, and the gun goes off in his hand. He doesn't even mean to shoot the guy, but they're like, "Hey, man, broke into your house." The cops kind of tell him not to worry about it. And when he goes to pick something up, he gives them the gun as so they can, just for evidence or while
right.
when he goes to pick it up, when they tell him there's no charge, he sees in the sheriff's office a wanted poster for the guy with the name of the guy he shot, but it's a different guy. And it's sort of like he has to figure out why would the police say it was he shot
this
a different
guy,
yeah. And like Sam Shepard's in it, Don Johnson plays a private detective in it, and I love it. It's of all the movies on my list, if I won the lottery tomorrow, it would be the type of movie I would make. Cold in July. I love it. It was almost my number one. And I say one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had.
I've never even heard of it.
Because there was
See, I knew he'd do that. He'd come in here with a bunch of obscure movies.
I was expecting 5 that I'd never heard of, to
right.
be quite honest with you. I mean, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, doing pretty good. Yeah.
It took 3 to get to one that we didn't
But
know.
there's a subplot that has to do with snuff films, and the theater was full of old people who obviously just love Nash Bridges.
They were like,
And when the baseball bat comes out, I could sense the old people just be like, nope, and they did not love it, and it made me love it more. It was like the Emperor at the end of Jedi. I was feeding off their hate for the movie.
Wow. Cold in July. Now, when is this? What year?
2014.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Cold in July.
Yeah.
All right. Your number 2.
My number 2 is 2018's Mandy by Panos Cosmatos. Man, I just fucking love it, dude. And it's not just one aspect of it. I love the dialogue. I love the look. I love the characters. I love the violence. I love the murder. It's just a bloody good time. And it almost was my number 1. It was really close. Because I rewatched it again, I guess, about 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, man, damn, this is really perfect. And it really is, to me. It's a movie made for me.
And that's how we got him on our podcast.
It was.
Certainly
I
not
called
for everybody, but
I called you and said, "Hey, we're going to do this thing, man. We're going to watch Mandy. You should come and do the podcast."
That was it.
That was the one that got.
And don't you
me.
love that when you feel a movie is made just for you?
Yeah.
Like it's
rewatching it, I'm
Yeah.
watching like the animation parts and just the way that the sky looks, the way that Red talks to when he goes to Bill Dukes and the conversation they have, and just everything about it, the trippy, just the visuals, the way that they do that thing with the leader of the cult and his wife, that face on face, that weird thing when he's having his little diatribe. It's just a beautifully made movie about just madness and trippiness and violence and big ass chainsaws and religion and all this mauled up into this great story.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. The scene in the bathroom where he wakes up and he's been stabbed and his wife just got set on fire in front of him, and he drinks like a half gallon of vodka in a 4-minute sitting, and he's just screaming and just getting enraged. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And it just, seeing it a couple weeks ago, I was like, I felt the same way. I was just like, man, this is good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2.
Right.
Almost number 1, but that's my
Almost
number
number 1. I understand.
2. Yeah.
Did you do your
Where's
number 2?
No, did you already do 2?
Yeah.
Oh, Cold in July. I'm already behind. Okay, so my number 2 is going to be a movie that a lot of people will be like, huh? But it's the movie that really spoke to me. It is Moneyball from 2011. It's a movie about Billy Bean, the manager for the Oakland A's. General manager who decided to take on what am I trying to say? Was starting to use analytics
over like the eye test.
The eye test to figure out
what they needed,
what they could get, and how cheap they could get it.
Yeah.
Written by Aaron Sorkin. I've taken his master class. He's my idol. His writing's fantastic. And Steve Zalian. This movie, it's funny, when this movie came out, I would just split up with my first wife, and I'm trying to make a business work, and I didn't know what I was going to do, didn't know how I was going to do it, and one day I rented this movie, and I watched this movie, and I loved the story, like I loved it, and I, of course, started researching all that, and basically that has nothing to do with my business, besides that the idea of being able to do something at a small price and doing it doing a good job of it is a way to do things. And basically, I'm going to do video the Moneyball way. I'm going to make it cheap, and I'm going to do it well. And within, I really did. I started reading all the. What's that guy's name? And it just slipped.
Bill James, the guy.
Yeah, Bill James. Yeah. I started reading all that stuff and really started watching baseball and really got into all that, just trying to figure out, I don't know, I just got kind of obsessed with it. But I really incorporated that whole process into my business, and within a year, we were doing Walmart.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And things were rolling when we were cutting Walmart commercials in the back of Walmart on a laptop, and we were doing it at these very very minimal, making
as cheaply as you could.
Yeah, and I almost even named my company Moneyball Entertainment as kind of had kind of given me that inspiration to figure out a way to make a business here, so that I didn't have to go somewhere else. And this movie was a big part of it.
It's a great movie.
The whole idea behind this Moneyball thing, it's really changed. It completely changed baseball forever. But it's seeped into all sports.
Sports now.
Now, instead of sending this guy's been scouting players for 25 years. It's about the analytics. It's about the numbers and trying to fit what you're looking for into a numbers game. Instead of just using your eyes, you use the analytics as well.
This amount of money, this guy, we can get this guy for this amount of money. He can give us this many hits, this many runs.
Yeah.
This
is what we're looking for, and we've got this many players fall into that gap of kind of what we're looking for. So of these guys, who's the guy? And then you kind of go through and choose them. Yeah, it's interesting to me.
It's all data, and that's kind of what I used as what's the data? Where are the places that I can make money doing video? Who needs it? What this and this and this?
Didn't they have the lowest? Didn't they have the lowest salary in the?
Yeah, and they won 20. They won 20 games the year. He was trying to prove it, and everybody was saying whatever.
And they made it to the World Series.
They made it to the playoffs and lost to Minnesota. But they did win 20 games with those guys back to back and broke that was the biggest, longest winning streak. And and then what's great is that at the very end, for the icing on the cake, if anybody knows my story, I came back from Los Angeles and now I've got 2 kids here and I can't go anywhere. So I'm kind of stuck here. And at the end of the final scene of that movie, he goes after that season, he goes up to Boston, and they offer him, $1 billion to come and do that in Boston. And he turns it down because his daughter lives in Oakland, and he's still there. He's still the general manager at the Oakland A's because he didn't want to leave. He just wanted to do it there, and he wanted to do it and raise his kids. So that movie, just the whole story, everything is perfect. It's a good movie.
Yeah, really good movie.
It's not opera cinema, but it's one of my favorites.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Now we're down to numero uno.
All right, my number 1 is from 2010. Just made it in. Is The Fighter. And it's kind of like Garrick said, it's a movie that this is a movie that I
just identify with.
Yeah. Like the way Mark Wahlberg's, like a lot of people, obviously when this movie came out, everybody praised Christian Bale's because he had the very showy performance. But I mean, people talk that Mark Wahlberg doesn't say anything in the movie. Yeah, but if you see an interview with the 2 brothers that are portraying the movie, Mickey Ward does not say a lot because his brother talks constantly. He has that crackhead jabber, and he does
he's so good. Christian Bale's
and he's so good. But I mean, Mark Wahlberg played it just like Irish Mickey Ward is.
He was perfect.
And the way his family just treats him like garbage. Like how when they sent him out in that fight at the beginning, that guy who's 65 pounds heavier than him. And he gets the shit kicked out of him, basically because he's their employment. They all basically work working on him as a boxer, or they receive money from that. And so basically his family's like, yeah, you can get brain damage, but we won't have to get real jobs. And it's oddly funny. Like there's a scene when he first meets Amy Adams' character, and he gets her number, and as he's walking away, his sister bumps into a girl, and he's completely oblivious to it, and they just immediately start fighting. These 2 New England bar whores just start beating the shit out of each other. He's just like, hey, I got this number, and he looks at his dad, and it's a really sweet movie that has crackheads in it.
And then when they go to his house, and they end up, she ends up holding her own and fighting the sisters.
Oh, the sisters are the worst. They are the worst people alive.
And the Boston accents are perfect.
Oh, they are.
You just feel like
that one chick who looks like Chewbacca with the big mane and bleach blonde.
Where do they find those actresses? Yeah. Where are those actresses?
I think they were just from that neighborhood. They were just from
probably there.
Yeah.
Well, but they were so good.
And if you can find, I don't even think HBO has it anymore. If you can see the Life on Crack Street documentary, which the older Ward brother is in, that they kind of edit Christian Bale into it. It's a horrifying. Him and the bald guy, his buddy, they are the only 2 still alive. Everybody else from the documentary either overdosed or died of AIDS. And you know how they say some towns were hit by the crack epidemic? That town in Massachusetts got sledgehammered by it. And it's a great movie. It really is. It's that's my favorite movie of the decade. Nice. It's so much I had to stop watching it. I would just watch it all the time.
Because you were loving it.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to get burnt out on it. So yeah.
Okay, I like it. My number 1, and I don't know if it's my favorite movie of the decade or not, but I really liked it. And is 2015's The Witch.
Okay.
Robert Eggers.
I just love the way that it looks. I love the way that it feels. I love the dialogue. I love the story. I love the witchcraftiness of it. I don't know of another movie that I can really compare this to. You know?
Yeah.
I saw this movie twice in 2015 by myself, and that is fucking strange. I don't go to the movie by myself very often, and for me to go to see the same movie twice by myself, I was like, I almost had like an odd obsession with it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I love it. I cannot wait to see The Lighthouse, which I know is out now for rent. I'm going to stop on my way home and see if I can get it to watch tonight. I just think for a first-time director, man, I don't know how you do, if this is a story you want to tell, I don't know how you do it better than what he did.
Yeah.
I just thought it was perfectly executed. A lot of people, it's not a horror movie. I don't give a fuck what it is.
Yeah.
It's a cool fucking movie. I dig it. I think that's my number one for the decade.
Awesome.
2015's The Witch. Garrick, where's your numero uno?
My numero uno was another one that just made it in to the decade. And I think everybody probably already knows this, but The Town.
The Town.
This is my number one movie. It is my movie that I can watch over and over. Have to stop watching it. Ben Affleck directed heist movie in Boston. They robbed the Fenway Park. Other stuff happens. Everybody knows this movie. I don't have to explain it. But to me, it's just the dialogue's great. It's Jeremy Renner's awesome, and Ben Affleck is awesome in it. That's my number one.
Yeah, basically it made Jeremy Renner a movie star.
Renner's so good.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
I think it also this was Ben Affleck had just done Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah.
This one pretty much stapled him as,
Oh, yeah.
hey, I can do this. Because
Yeah.
he followed it up with Argo.
Yeah. A lot of actors direct
honorable
one
mentions.
movie.
Yeah.
Or direct one good movie.
Yeah.
And never do anything of note again. And this is when he became like, oh damn, this guy's he's a real deal movie maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. Absolutely.
Nice list.
Thank you.
Nice list.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too bad. You got honorable mentions? We don't have any?
Oh, fuck.
I got a
ahead,
few.
man.
Yeah.
Throw it out there.
I got 12 Years a Slave. Great.
That almost made my list. I just couldn't. I couldn't
because
pull
you're not-
Wolf of Wall Street out of it.
Right.
I just couldn't. That's the one that I wanted to
You
take.
prefer
out.
white people over black people. That's fine. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But, 12 Years a Slave, Revenant, The Favorite.
Yeah.
Black Klansman was on my list.
Okay.
Yeah. Revenant, Black Klansman. I thought about those as well.
Argo's on my list. And then my favorite movie this year, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I just have a few, like, I Saw the Devil, the Korean serial killer movie. I think it's maybe the best looking movie. Like, it looks, the way it's lit, you just have to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, there are little pools of light everywhere, and they're all different colored. It looks like if Michael Mann made a Dario Argento movie. I mean, it's just, I love it. It's kind of like we were talking about Sicario. The killer gets so tortured, you almost feel bad for the serial killer at the end.
Yeah.
When he gets his Achilles tendon cut and everything, and he's just like, what the fuck's happening? Why does this guy keep showing up kicking my ass? You're like, damn, just shoot him.
Yeah.
But the hero is just, he's like because at the end you're like, damn, who's the good guy and bad guy? Because the hero's vengeance is so, like, it's not physical, it's like psychological vengeance.
Right.
Bringing people, family members in and stuff, and it's just, I love it. It's,
it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. And the guy who played, I can't remember the actor's name, but he played Storm Shadow in the G.I. Joe movies. He's the secret agent in the movie.
Mm.
He's phenomenal in it, and as is Odusan, who played Old Boy. I guess he's most famous for that movie. But yeah, that's my, and I don't really like mine. Argo, The Town, a lot, Wolf of Wall Street. Those are a lot of my also rans.
Yeah, you can throw
Yeah.
any of those in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, so then that leaves this year. There were not many, but the ones that were, I think stand out.
Right.
I think we're gonna have a very similar fucking list. Is what I think.
I only have one.
I only have one.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
You want to start?
Okay, my favorite 4.
Okay.
Of 2019.
Right.
All right, and then we'll sift through. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Dolomite Is My Name.
Yep.
The Irishman, and Joker.
Right. My number one movie is what Doug just mentioned. Dolomite Is My Name. I love it so much. It's just like kind of like I mentioned with my last 2 years. My 2 favorite movies have been Netflix movies, which probably says a lot about the quality of movies coming out in the theater. But anyway, as soon as I not like Night Comes Red. I didn't watch, but like the next day, I just could not stop thinking about Dolomite Is My Name. It's sweet, but it's not saccharine. It's not sentimental. Everything's real, but it's the most wholesome R-rated movie ever. Because like there's no language in it, but there's nothing.
There's no violence.
There's no violence. There's no. As we said before a couple weeks ago, the movie has no villain. It's just about
even the sex. Even the couple of sex scenes are laughable.
Yeah.
They're not scummy.
It's basically a sort of like Garrett was talking about starting his video production company. It's like a love letter to come on, we can do it, we can make it together. Getting your friends together, writing something, going to the Goodwill, getting some clothes for costumes. You can make a movie.
Yeah,
and it has a lot. Heart is what it has, which is what a lot of movies today don't have.
it does.
It's nothing but heart.
And man, I missed Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
you just don't realize.
Yeah, he's that good. Did you see him on Saturday Night Live? Dude, when he did...
I saw some parts.
He kept breaking up when they were doing the Black Jeopardy. He was Velvet Jones. And he kept pitching his I Want to Be a Hoe books. But he kept like flubbing the lines. Yeah. But even that was great.
Yeah.
And he came on Weekend Update as Gumby. And he kept calling... you could tell like his section was over. And he'd be like, I decided when I'm over. I am Gumby, damn it. Like you could hear him screaming off camera.
Yeah.
And it was funnier than anything else on the show.
Yeah.
Like he's that good. But he's, I love him.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And he made the joke during his monologue. He said, 30 years ago, if you would have said I'd had 10 kids and be a stay-at-home dad and because we'd be in jail, he goes, I wouldn't have taken that bet.
Yeah. Nobody would have believed
exactly.
that.
But
he caught shit for it, but undeservedly.
Well, but he also caught a lot of crap. Bill Cosby gave him a lot of crap back in the day.
That's true.
You're not, as a black man, you shouldn't be up here talking about this stuff. You should be talking about wholesome stuff.
You should be at home using Quaaludes to rape women like I'm doing.
As Richard Pryor said,
fucking piece of shit.
As Richard Pryor said, tell Bill to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, yeah.
Why do you think, real fast, why do you think that the quality of films are moving towards streaming? When you said your statement,
right.
That's the
right. Like The Irishman. The Irishman wouldn't have been made by a studio. It could only be made on a streaming service now.
Yeah, because it's too expensive.
Right, it's too expensive. It's too long. It's too
awesome.
Doesn't have Iron Man in it. That's a big stumbling block.
Yeah.
If you make a movie, put Iron Man in it. People love that. And it's just. People in movie theaters now, it's like, I don't say it's like an event, but it's like
an event. You're right.
It's
3D glasses.
They want to go there to not think.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're at home, you can watch, you can pause it. There are probably people who broke The Irishman up like a TV show. They watched an hour, came back a couple days later, watched another hour.
Sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I watched it. I think we all watched it in one sitting. In fact, I know we did. But it's just.
Sorry, I'm getting sick.
It's the people who watch stuff at home and people who watch stuff in theaters are now two completely different audiences. I think that's what it is.
And I think a lot of what I'd like to think that we kind of like,
right,
is now we're going to find more readily available streaming on some service than we're ever going to find at the theater.
Right. And every few years there'll be a Joker, there'll be there'll be something made that's challenging. But
it's not going to be.
It's not going to be every year.
Yeah.
Even if you look back the last 10 years of like Oscar winners, like what's the last movie that won Best Picture that you loved?
Oh, dude, you gonna hit me with that?
Yeah.
Well, let's look. Hold on.
I I thought Spotlight from 2016 was
That
really
was
well,
good. That
was really
won.
well done.
The Revenant, but that didn't win. Spotlight beat it.
Yeah. And but yeah, I'm trying to think. I like some of them I can't even remember. Yeah. Like dude, The Artist won Best Picture, which is a movie that immediately was relegated to nothingness.
Yeah.
And I'm sure those French people are super nice and well-meaning, but like that movie is forgotten.
Yeah.
It's like Gangs of New York. Like Gangs of New York lost to Chicago in 2002. Has anybody watched Chicago since 2002? No one has. Even people like musicals haven't.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gotten worse since then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what they were talking about with. That's how Harvey Weinstein was so good at creating frenzies over like Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare in Love. Shakespeare in Love beat Saving Private Ryan. You know? Somehow. Yeah.
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 My ears just wanted to throw that back out. Like
exactly.
You made my ears want to vomit when you said that.
Any movie that has that much Gwyneth Paltrow, that's too much Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was, those are, so there's a list of the Academy Award winning films. Moonlight, La La Land.
Yeah, movies
Birdman, 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah. But that's a historical thing. Those movies are...
The King's Speech. Nobody's ever heard of that again.
Yeah.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Well, the director of The King's Speech did just release Cats in the movie theater.
God, that's right.
He should be castrated.
No, I disagree. Because what are we talking about? We're talking about everything's the same. You got it as terrible as Cats look, and it does look terrible. He took a chance. He made something different. Now, granted, the movie-going audience looked at it and said, "No, thank you," but he fucking did it. And
he tried.
What's his name? Tom Hooper.
Yeah.
He's the most white bread director ever. He makes Ron Howard look like Abel Ferrara. I mean, he directed The King's Speech, for God's sakes. You know, but he made Cats. He spent $99 million.
I've seen that show. I saw that show off Broadway in 1990.
Yeah,
and I can only imagine what that fucking movie is.
The CG, it looks like a horror show.
It looks so.
Oh God! If I had to sit through like a scene with Judi Dench's CGI cat face in it, I would just start throwing up everywhere.
It looks like a horror movie.
It does.
Looks so sketchy and just weird.
That's what they should take all those guys. If they catch a terrorist, they should just give them mescaline and like tape their eyes open like
Cats on a reel. Yeah, there you
like a Clockwork Orange,
yeah.
And just make them watch Cats on LSD, and they'll fucking confess the world.
Yeah, that movie. They even they withdrew all their money for. But
Universal redid the special effects and put it back in the theater, so it's different now than when it was first released. The CGI is.
That's how bad. That's how much of a tank it was.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, we're off. We went off on
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I started asking about Netflix, and we got.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That's why I asked.
I think it's to your.
My number one is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
For this year, 100%. I'm behind you with Dolomite, The Irishman, and Joker.
Yeah, it's like
You really flip a coin.
Four-sided coin, and because any of them, and so since you said that, and we've spoken about this movie in detail, and we spoke about the movie that I'm going to claim is my best of 2019.
What happened, Joker? Last week you were mad.
Here's the weird thing. So sometimes you watch something and I don't know.
Oh yeah,
you're just not in the mood, or something's wrong.
Absolutely.
And I sat there and I watched that movie, and I kept thinking man, I should love this, but I'm not loving it. I don't know why. And then came in and did last week's cast, and then I left and went home and watched it again, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a movie that I felt like certain points was written for me. You know, kind of the same thing with Mandy. It's like you find yourself, even though you know in your mind that this dude is a bad person, probably bad news,
right?
Not necessarily a bad person. You can't help but sympathize with him, and that's what I continued to find myself doing. The only thing that I really didn't like about it was all the
comic book stuff. You know, the stuff with like Bruce Wayne and his dad and all that.
Right.
As far as I like, just leave all that out, and I think you've got a perfect movie.
Right.
Having to leave it in there and making it a DC movie, the way that they did it and the amount of that in it, which is not a whole lot of the movie,
Not
really,
much.
is fine. And I think after a second viewing and taking a few days to think about it, we'll say that's my favorite of 2019.
Yep, there you go.
And probably, maybe, it's hard for me to say favorite performance because I love Brad Pitt's character in Once Upon a Time.
But that's a supporting actor.
But that's
as
two different
opposed
type
to-
performances.
yeah.
That's like subtle and...
And I love Eddie Murphy's in
Yeah.
Dolomite.
Yep.
You know, you love...
You think he'll get nominated? Or you think he's Eddie Murphy playing Eddie Murphy?
He's definitely not Eddie Murphy playing Eddie Murphy.
No.
He's playing something, but I don't know.
I don't think he will be nominated.
Yeah.
No, I think that Joaquin for sure, and I think that Brad Pitt will. And I don't think that Brad Pitt will win, but I think that he deserves it.
He should.
He should give
'Cause
us
it's-
for it.
Well, like
Such a
Pacino
good-
should for The Irishman.
Right.
Like, those two guys as supporting actors in those two movies were maybe my favorite characters outside of Joaquin this year. In
Yeah.
anything I saw, I just fucking loved
My
them
favorite
so
bit
much.
in What's Going On is when he has the Bruce Lee flashback, and then it cuts to him on the roof. He's like, "Oh yeah," like he just kind of like, "That's how I fucked that up."
He's like, "Oh, why am I not on the set anymore?" Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like just that kind of little nod he gives himself. Like, yeah, I did that.
That character is just, I love it.
Yep.
I just can't stand it.
Yeah, I bought it. I still haven't had a chance to watch it again. I can't wait to have time. Next
Yeah.
week will be a little slower for me. I won't be building sets, but well, there you go. There's our list. The decade is over. Getting into the new. What are we doing, guys, for the beginning of the year? Are we doing PIs? Are we going to do
I believe so.
I think we're doing...
Yeah, private investigators.
private investigators? So we've got Chinatown.
Yep.
What else was there?
The Last Boy Scout
Yep, The Last Boy Scout.
and Small Town Crimes.
Small Town Crimes.
Yep.
That's perfect. In that order.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
chronological.
Yep.
So at the beginning of the year, we will start up our new blocks and
Yep.
some new stuff.
Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us where we're right in our top fives
Yeah.
or our movies of the year. Did we miss something? Are we idiots? Are we brilliant? Let us know.
There you go.
Goodfellas ran away with my my tournament. I don't think it's funny because I look at some of the matchups were very evenly paced, and then some weren't. And I keep thinking, well, maybe I should have reset that, but I don't think it would. I think it would have been the end result.
It would have been
The only
Goodfellas.
way to make it interesting is you leave Goodfellas out of it.
Right.
And then see who
Right,
wins.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been something unique.
So
because-
Goodfellas is off the
Well-
and and not that Irishman would ever be Goodfellas, but we also put that out a week after the Irishman had even opened. So there was probably a lot of people that hadn't seen the Irishman.
Right, that's true.
But whatever. The way it worked out, it was
Might
pretty
take
fun.
them 4 days to watch.
We had a lot of interaction with that.
We
That
did.
was fun.
We started with one bracket, and people hated that.
Yeah, oh man, they were mad because Raging Bull wasn't in there.
Yeah. Because you can only put so many in a,
Yeah, it was like
I-
put them all in or something. I mean,
Yeah.
you
So I
gotta-
ended up doing that.
Yeah.
So we had, but thank goodness Raging Bull being left out would
Did Silence make the cut? I don't remember seeing Silence.
silence.
I had my money on Kundun, which I guess I'm the only one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, those are the only two movies that didn't make it.
Well,
Yeah.
fitting.
Right.
Okay, well, hit us up on our Facebook page. Happy New Year's, everybody. Keep watching the movies, and we'll be back next year with PI films.
2020.
That's it.
Thank you to all our Tales of the Video Store listeners. We wish you a Happy New Year. We hope that your year will be successful and abundantly happy. Thanks for listening.